what your monthly car payment is?
$17.65.
Is that before or after car insurance?
Before.
I feel like this cloud that's over the car market is only going to get worse.
What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a 2025 Ford Expedition.
Remember the total cost of this car?
It was $80,000.
What's crazy is literally this entire lineup of heavy-duty trucks. Pretty much every single one of these trucks is priced at around $85,000 to $90,000.
With the average price of a new car being $50,000, it's no wonder that dealers are struggling to sell cars. On top of that, people do not want to take on a $700 or $800 car payment, nor do they want to deal with the shady salesman at the dealership. And what we most definitely do not want is to pay $80,000 for a modern piece of junk that is filled with subscriptions. Starting it off with the mind-boggling fact that if you're in the market for a new car, be prepared to pay the average price of $50,000.
$50,000 is massive. And I know that if you haven't been in the market for a while, and a lot of people haven't, people are driving their cars longer. They last 12, 13 years. But if you need a car, you need a car, right?
So what's driving the increase?
Oh, you're so clever. Well, obviously inflation, but also we Americans, this is probably before the war, but we're buying larger vehicles, and that is costing more money. And because of that, when you look at most people who are financing these cars, the payment has skyrocketed. We're talking about $773 a month. And you know what? That doesn't even include your auto insurance. So we have plenty of people who are paying $1,000 a month for their car payments.
This is if you buy a car outright to finance it?
Yes, when you're financing it. So just your financing charge. And I want to be clear that, a lot of people shelling out 50 grand, it's an impossibility. Right. So obviously you are going to finance it. But I think a lot of people are kind of worried, like, well, how do I know? Do I fix my old car? Right. Do I not? And I think the question is really, when I talk to car experts, they'll say to me, well, don't pay more than half the value of the car if you're driving an old car.
Okay.
And maybe another way to think about it is...
break that down for me. Don't pay more.
Okay, so let's say your car is worth $8,000 right now. You're at the end of the life of the car. Don't be paying $5,000 to fix the car.
Got it.
And when you look at the terms of these loans, they're getting longer and longer. We have almost a quarter of Americans that are financing for 84 months. That's 7 years. So what is happening there is that people are saying, I want a car. It's expensive. If I stretch out the payments, then I can afford it monthly. But I generally think that if you can't afford a 60-month loan, a 5-year, you might be buying too much car.
There is no way in heck I would ever buy a $50,000 car. Buy used, a few years old, pay cash, drive it forever. Stay away from car dealerships if possible. I'll put a new engine in before I spend mortgage money on a new car. The main reason why everything is so expensive is because every quarter, year over year, businesses want to make more and more profits, and that mentality literally drives up the cost of everything. $50,000 is the annual salary of the average US citizen. There's going to be a point where consumers will no longer be able to afford new cars. Heck, we've already reached that point. Hence, the entire point of this video. And that brings us right to our next clip.
What's crazy is literally this entire lineup of heavy-duty trucks. Look at that. That goes all the way down there. It's like a whole football field worth of trucks. Pretty much every single one of these trucks is priced at around $85,000 to $90,000 because all of them are the more high-end Lariat trim. It's pretty insane if you ask me. Let's look at this one right here. And as you can see, the price on this one, right around $87,000. Goodness gracious.
My mortgage is $1,100. I'm not paying $1,100 for a vehicle. Drop $20K off the price, then they would move. And their value will plummet $20 to $30K when it comes off the lot. Literally, none of these costed $85 to $90K to make. Not remotely worth the money, should be maybe half that. And we have another clip of another overflowing dealer lot.
Maybe not everything. Let's check this Bronco right here. This is a Bronco Sport 2024. There you go. This is a big time problem for a lot of these dealerships. I mean, this is a big dealership. Look at all the vehicles that are sitting around me. And most of these vehicles have had a birthday party. I mean, they must be eating cake all the time here because these vehicles are celebrating. You got to have one just about every day that's been here for a year. Anyway, this is the ugly Bronco 2024 freewheeling 4x4. $35,000. So it's even on the cheaper end of the spectrum of what you're going to see here. It's not cheap, it's on the cheaper end of the spectrum of what you're going to see here at this Ford dealership. But that's gross, right? There's three of them. Who's buying that? I feel like this cloud that's over the car market is only going to get worse, because even if you throw out all the price hikes, you throw out tariffs, you throw out uncertainty from the administration, then you can add in the uncertainty that's coming from just the economy in general, the psychology of the consumer right now, and their unwillingness to really separate with their dollars. Because even if we don't have price hikes, even if we don't have things that are coming from the government, from price increases, whatever, then if you have a consumer that's not willing to actually come and buy these vehicles, you can even lower the prices and they're still just unwilling to separate with their money because they feel so scared. You have companies like Ford who they don't know what their pricing structure is going to be 6 months from now. So this is not very good for their business, because they don't know if they need to pull production here, they need to send production out, where their margins are going to be. There's nothing that they can really predict. So that makes it to where they can't plan necessarily what they're going to do to make their company better, to make their shareholders more money. And in their Model E division, they actually lost $1.32 billion in the quarter. So they're on target to lose over $5 billion. And this is what they're actually projecting. And I mean, this is one of the big reasons why the Ford Lightning not selling. You have the Mach-E's not selling. And I know I'm going to get it in the comments. I see it. Well, what about the percentage increase? They're absolutely killing it. No, I agree, sales are going up, but if you go from selling 2 of them to selling 4 of them, yeah, it looks great on paper and you can spin it however you want to. But I actually went back and did the math just about a month and a half ago on how many Ford Lightnings were actually sold throughout the course of last year, and then divided that by the number of Ford dealerships, and it came out to be that each Ford dealership sold on average of about 11 Ford Lightnings total throughout the whole year. So then you bring that down per month, and that means every Ford dealership on average in the course of last year was selling less than 1 Ford Lightning for the whole month. They're not selling any.
Drop the price in half and I still wouldn't buy anything there. Way overpriced junk. It's cheaper to fix what you have if you can, or buy used. Never buy new. But even when all the evidence is there and points to the fact that inventory is through the roof, these car dealerships will still try to make you believe that business is booming as usual.
Why do you have so many cars on your lot? Is a question I hear all the time. A larger inventory gives you more options, more colors, more trim levels, more features to choose from, so that you can actually have a better chance of driving home with something than having to settle. It also means that you can compare trims side by side instead of waiting weeks for one to arrive. Now, does a full lot mean that the cars aren't selling? No, that's not necessarily the truth. Every day we sell more and more, and every day, maybe every other day, another truck arrives with more inventory. So the next time you see a dealership with a lot full of vehicles, don't assume that that's a bad sign. It just means you might have a better chance of finding the right vehicle for you. So the next time you're looking for a vehicle, would you rather shop a dealership with 20 cars or 200? Let me know down in the comments.
Sure, Jan. We can go right over to the comments because your prices are ridiculous and the cars are junk. People aren't falling for it. And that brings me to a comment from one of you guys on a previous video. Yes, new and used cars are overpriced and too expensive. I would like to see manufacturers model after Tesla and sell cars directly to consumers. Cut out the middleman and price gouging. And I really agree. I hope that car dealerships are a thing of the past someday. Who knows? That might be wishful thinking, but no one likes going into the dealership, dealing with the car salesman, all the back and forth just to get the out the door price, all the upcharges and bells and whistles they try to add onto the vehicle. They try to get you into financing at the dealership because that's how they actually make their money. If we could buy directly from the manufacturer, that would save us all a lot of headache. And speaking of car dealerships, these salesmen can't figure out why these cars aren't selling.
So I need you guys to tell me, I've got a truck that we've not been able to sell, and I need you to tell me why. 2026 7.3 liter F350 Lariat pickup truck, white in color, got the running boards. Check out this interior, guys. Nice truck. Got all the options, big screen, power roof. Has an MSRP of $70,320. So let me know in the comments, guys, why can we not sell this truck? And let me ask you this, Would you buy this truck for $55,000 if I could sell it to you? Let me know in the comments why, and would you buy it for $55,000?
He seems to think that $55,000 is the true value of the truck, which I would argue is still way overpriced. Top comment says, no truck is worth $70K. Number 1, it's a Ford. Number 2, it's a gas. Number 3, it's $70K. Number 4, it's $70K. Number 5, it's $70K. It's gas and not 4x4. Two-wheel drive for $70K. Why do dealers ask this? The answer is always the price. Honest question, do these car salesmen think that these TikTok videos help them sell cars? Do they think that playing dumb and showing us all the bells and whistles and how great of a deal it is going to make us want to buy from them? I can't see how this video is helping their business. In fact, I think it's hurting their business. You know what's interesting? Most people earn rewards on things like groceries, dining, and travel, but mortgage and rent payments are typically our biggest expense each month and traditionally haven't been a great way to earn points. That's why I've been using Built, which is a loyalty program built for your home that lets you earn points on rent or mortgage payments. And the cool part is those points can actually be redeemed in a bunch of different ways, like flights, hotels, Lyft rides, fitness classes, gift cards, and more. I can link my existing credit cards in the app and earn Built points while continuing to use the cards I already have. Personally, I use my points to travel. We all know how expensive flights and hotels can be, so I like to redeem my points toward a future trip. But beyond your home, Built also offers exclusive benefits at over 50,000 partner locations, so you can unlock benefits at places you already visit. My tips for getting the most out of Built are to download the app and sign up, link any type of credit card, and chat with the concierge tool to find the best benefits in your neighborhood. Start earning Built points on your rent or mortgage payments when you sign up using the link in my description or the QR code on screen, and make sure to use my URL so they know that I sent you. Thanks again to Built for sponsoring today's video. Moving right on to the next dishonest salesman.
Here is a controversial truth. The longer you keep a car, the more that it's costing you. And I'm going to tell you why. I see this happen all the time. People hold on to a car because they think, I've already paid it off. So therefore they think it's cheaper to keep it. That cheap car starts costing you every month. Air costs, lost time at the mechanic, the stress every time you hear a new noise. And the worst part, you start putting thousands into a car that's losing value. Meanwhile, some people upgrade sooner, get something reliable, and end up saving more in the long term. And what am I saving, Daniel? You may say. You're saving time, money, and headaches. The smartest buyers don't just ask, is my car paid off? They ask, is this car still making sense for me? My name is Daniel, and if you're not sure whether to keep your car or upgrade it, come see me, and I'll help you break it down the right way so you can make an informed decision.
Sure, Daniel. We can just go right over to the comments. This is terrible advice. It's almost like he has a vested interest in you buying a new car. I'll take things a car salesman would say for $2,000. Never buy a car from someone who does not believe that car should last. Never ever take financial advice from a salesman. And this comment right here. Take the amount you've spent to repair it over a year, then divide it by 12. If it's less than a car payment, and usually it is, then you win. And that's been my exact experience. I have a 2007 Jetta, which I bought used about 4 years ago, and it has had minimal problems. I will say my dad is a car mechanic and he does fix my car. However, even if that wasn't the case and my dad didn't fix my car and I had to take it into a local mechanic, I can estimate that the repairs over the last few years have probably been under $2,000. Off the top of my head, the repairs I've had done in the last few years of having my car are transmission fluid change, new brakes, new tires, and oil changes. Transmission fluid change costs about $400, new brakes cost about $300, new tires cost anywhere from $400 to $1,200, so mine was probably around $600 to $700. And oil changes 2 every year are $35 to $150, so let's just go with $100. So if you total all that up, and I'm being generous with the amounts, I'm pretty sure my oil changes wouldn't cost $100. I think they're less than that, but I'm just gonna assume for the purpose of this example that they cost $100 each. That totals to $2,200 for the last 4 years of repairing my used car. If you compare that to the average cost of a car payment, which is around $700, those repairs are paid off within just 3 months of most people's car payments. So yeah, unless you have some pretty insane repairs like a brand new transmission or a new engine in your car, this car salesman is straight up lying, and I understand why. He wants to sell you a brand new car so that he can get his commission check. And this next video really just pissed me off. This dealership couldn't understand why customers wanted their dealership sticker removed after they purchased the vehicle.
Why do people get so mad when dealerships put stickers on the back of their cars so you know where you got it from? You're literally going to be so mad at yourself when you see how easy this is to take off and how you got mad over nothing. You always talk about how you don't want free advertising for the dealership. And just within this video, I'm not using any kind of scraper. I'm not using any kind of anything to get this off that's going to tear up the paint, that's going to scratch the paint when you're getting this off. I'm just using a little bit of my fingernails and some elbow grease. But all you have to do, legitimately, just peel the stickers off. If you don't want them on there, if you hate dealerships so badly that you don't want to advertise for the dealership, just peel them off. And look at this. It doesn't even leave a residue. And even if it did, just take a little bit of soap and water and just wipe that off. It's easy as that. So fight about it in the comments and make sure to follow Cole Honda Tyler for more content like this.
Again, why do these car dealerships think that these videos are helping their sales? He really posted that thinking, oh yeah, I did something with that video. His caption said, do people really not want dealership stickers on their vehicle? Yes, Cole, yes. No one wants dealership stickers on their brand new car. I'm actually surprised he didn't turn off comments for this video because no one was on his side, unsurprisingly. How about you just not put it on in the first place? The arrogance in this video just made sure that I won't consider buying a new car from you, and I'm about to go buy a new Accord for my wife. And the creator responded back, it was just a rage bait video. I hate the stickers and I took it off of my wife's brand new car that she got from here. This is the problem right here. People love to rage bait online, and the problem is it works. People get mad over the content of the video and they start commenting. That brings up the engagement more, that pushes the video out to other people's For You pages, and he gets more clicks and engagement. And so much of the internet is becoming rage bait now. It is super annoying. Note to self, never buy a car from Cole. Should give a discount for the free advertising, especially with the dealership upcharge. And salespeople wonder why the dealership model is struggling. It's even easier to not put it on. No, Cole, we do not want our cars to be free advertising for your dealership. I actually had a car decal from a place I worked back in college, and they paid me extra to drive around with an ad on the side of my car. So you should be paying your customers the same way. I've also seen multiple videos on social media where dealerships try to normalize their car payments by showing how much the car salesmen pay for their vehicles.
Hi, Bella. So it looks like we got a lot of people mad. Now we're asking what your monthly car payment is.
$17.65.
Is that before or after car insurance?
Before.
She still got the M340 though. All right, she still has an M340. So how much is your Corvette payment monthly?
Paid off.
Hey, Alex. So how much are your car payments for each of your cars?
$0.
And that's for the X3M?
Yep.
What about the Maserati?
Same thing.
So he got him paid off. So it looks like he's smart, you know, unlike other people. So what is your car payment?
No car payment. My car's paid off. I paid it off in 2 years.
She can low-key smart for that, but it's still an Audi, so you couldn't pay me to drive one. El Presidente over here. What is your car payment on your X6M?
It's a little light, 2,000.
Low-key, that's not bad for an X6M. It's a comp, and it's a freaking beast on the road. So what is your IX payment monthly?
$199.
Like $199?
$199.
Carlos, what is that payment on your 3 Series?
2015, $796 a month.
There's no way. What's the interest rate on that?
18%.
No, he has to be joking. Like, that's actually absurd. Like, I actually think he's joking. Anyways, what's your car payment on your Honda Fit?
I don't have one.
All right, so he's a smart pal, I guess. Honda Fit. All right, so what is your car payment on your 240?
About $305.
That's a steal, low key. On the M240, and what year is it?
25.
All right, low key, like he got it. I can't even say anything about it.
There is no way in heck I would ever take on a $1,700 or $2,000 car payment. Are these people crazy? That's a mortgage. $1,765 is diabolical. There's no way. And yes, all of these cars are Beamers. They're luxury vehicles. They go from anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000. But as we could see by the video, most people did not pay cash for their car. They didn't have $50,000 to $150,000 lying around, so they had to finance it. And when you're financing it for years and years, up to 8 years of your life, you're going to pay an insane amount of interest. So that $50,000 car becomes a $75,000 car, and that $150,000 car becomes a $200,000 car. I don't care how nice the car is or how fancy you feel driving it, that is just taking thousands of dollars and throwing it down the drain in interest payments. And that brings us to our next video of George Kamel asking people on the street what their car payment is.
Tell us what you drive right now and what the payment is.
I'm in a Tesla Model Y. I think my payment's $450 a month.
What year is the Tesla?
2024. Just got it last year.
Nice whip. Big Tesla fan. Okay, so you got it last year. Was it used or new?
It was new. I lease it.
Oh, it's a lease at $450 a month. So at the end of this lease, what happens?
Probably going to get a new Tesla.
With payments?
Yeah.
What's the lease agreement?
It's 3 years, so 36 months. Afterwards, there's no option to renew the lease. It's just you give the car back and it goes into their fleet.
Okay, have you done the math on this?
I think I did when I first got the car.
I kind of want to, can we do it live? This will be really fun for me. Okay, 450, 36 months. So you're paying $16,000 to basically rent the car from Tesla.
Yeah.
What kind of car do you drive?
A BMW 24.
Okay, you got a payment on it or is it paid for?
Payment.
What's the payment?
$734.
Ooh.
I know.
That's up there. Do you know like the interest rate? How many years?
The interest rate is like 3.99. Yeah, I've recently thought about selling it.
Oh, really? When'd you get it?
A year ago.
Wow. When did the regrets sit in? We're like, I got to get rid of this thing.
Within a few months. So I'm close to retirement and I'm not ready.
So you're like, okay, I could have used this money to invest and set myself up, but now it's setting me back.
Or pay off debt.
What's the other debt?
Credit card. I owe on my house. I think that's it.
Are you underwater on this car at this point?
Yeah.
What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a 2025 Ford Expedition.
That sounds expensive.
It is expensive.
You remember the total cost of this car?
It was $80,000.
Did that feel like a good decision?
It does, because I paid cash for it.
Whoa! Okay.
I paid cash and I
buried the lead. Were they confused at the dealership?
Yes, and he actually was trying to convince me to make payments on it. And he said that it would be $2,100 a month for a car payment. And I said, who does that? And he goes, my car payment's $2,100. And I looked at my husband and I was like,
He just insulted the sales guy.
Yeah, I did.
And then the finance office is like, you're not going to let her pay cash. She's not leaving here without payment.
They absolutely were mad at
No, they don't make money off of cars. They make money off of financing. Gotcha. And your little tricks, car salesman.
So that first lady leasing a Tesla, imagine paying $16,000 over 3 years and then you don't even get anything back for it. At the end, you have to return the car and you're left $16,000 poorer with nothing to show for it. Second lady is close to retirement age, has credit card debt, bought a pretty new BMW, is at like a $750 payment and regretted it within just a few months. That is the perfect example of lifestyle creep. You buy a brand new car or something fancy and it's a shiny new object at first, but once you get used to it, the novelty wears off and it just becomes your new normal. And then you're left with the regret of a $750 car payment, not including gas, repairs, and insurance, by the way. And on top of that, she's underwater on the car, so she owes more on it than it's worth. And the last lady, good for her for buying an $80,000 Ford Expedition cash. Most people can't afford it and need to finance, so I guess good for her. But I can't imagine having $80,000 lying around and being like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a brand new Ford Expedition for $80K. That's a good use of all that money. Imagine all that money just sitting in a Roth IRA account instead and just compounding into this beautiful nest egg for your retirement. Another reason that people don't want to buy these overpriced cars at the dealership is because modern cars are junk now and are meant to be scrapped instead of repaired, and new cars are filled with loads of subscription services.
This is why I'm fixing up all these old cars. As more time goes on, we're going to discover cars like these built between 1995 and 2012 were the best generation of cars ever built. It was before all the planned obsolescence in computers and at the peak of engineering where they were building stuff to truly last and not worried about profits. Where today's generation of cars has been a huge disappointment, and it's only getting worse. From Silverados to F-150s to Jeep Grand Cherokees and even the Rams. These cars are having tons of problems. And what's even worse worse is they're already phasing out the parts on these cars. This is a 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and guess what? The transmission fluid for this thing is on a national back order right now. It's the same fluid that goes in this Eco Diesel Ram, and we barely had enough to get the job done. In fact, we bought all the fluid that the dealership had left in stock because they had no idea when they would get it back in stock. And these Silverados with the 8-speed transmission is kind of the same deal. They need updated fluid to prevent the torque converter clutch from shuttering, and good luck finding it. And when the parts are available, the dealerships know that they're needed, and they turn out to be very expensive. Like an alternator for this Nissan right here is like $800. And don't even get me started on the transmission on this thing, because that is the biggest ripoff in the industry. And the dealership knows it because they got them stacked up to the ceiling every time you go in the parts department. You see these old Silverados right here, you could pretty much still find good parts for them. And this thing's over 20 years old. Now tell me how you can find good parts for this thing, but not the brand new ones right there. It's being done on purpose because they want you to buy new cars instead of buying stuff to fix your old ones. And thank God for the junkyards in the aftermarket, because that's what's keeping these old cars alive that were truly great. In the next 5 years, this problem's only going to get worse as people slowly realize that the new cars stink and the old ones were truly great. And then that's when people will be banging down my doors to buy the old cars that I'm fixing up. And don't worry, I'm gonna start selling parts too, because somebody's got to help us in this crazy industry that's going down the toilet. You see, each of these cars, while they are old and they may have some issues, they are still pretty cheap and they are fixable for cheap, which means you can buy parts for them. The parts aren't that expensive and they're pretty simple and easy to fix. And once you do get them fixed, they usually don't break again for a good long while, unlike these new pieces of crap we got sitting around everywhere. It's funny how in the future we thought we would be driving futuristic cars, but it turns out probably be driving the old beaters we always did.
And this comment right here, and they're trying to get rid of the companies that make aftermarket parts. And we've talked about that in a past video about how they're not making cars to be fixed anymore. They're meant to be scrapped and just repurchased new. That's why my daily driver is a 1996 Nissan Maxima. You need a 3D printer to make parts because BlackRock and Vanguard, who own the car and part industry, is quietly closing all parts stores and parts manufacturers. I'll keep my old beaters. I don't care about driving a nicer car than the guy next to me. I just want to get there as cheap as possible. And the last thing that will really make you mad are the subscriptions that are being rolled out in almost all new cars now.
Honda's now charging a subscription fee to open your own garage. Most modern cars come with a product called HomeLink, which integrates with your garage door opening system. Up until now, that's always been free tech included with the purchase of the vehicle. Well, Honda said we can fix that and has made it $130 for a 3-year subscription or $180 for 5, which is part of a broader epidemic of paying $50,000 for a brand new vehicle loaded with features that you can't use unless you offer recurring revenue. Features like remote start that used to be built right into your key fob. Oh yeah, that one's only available through your phone now for $20 a month. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's any relief coming anytime soon. All manufacturers are starting to play in the subscription space in one way or another. And as people gravitate towards used vehicles, those are going to become more expensive as well. At this point, the only thing that might be able to save us is BYD landing in America.
And straight over to the comments we go. I refuse to give in to subscription culture. We don't want it. The top comment has a picture of a garage door opener, and that's something that we've all used for a long time. But late stage capitalism, of course, these companies have to find a way to profit more. I would never buy a car that has subscriptions for its features. I hope others do the same. That's how we stop this. And they're wondering why over 100K new cars are sitting in the lots. They'll start building stops every few miles where your car automatically parks and you have to watch ads before you can drive again. That is so terrifying to think about, but I do fear that is the direction we are heading in. It's so sad to me that when you purchase the vehicle for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, you pay for all of this hardware already. Your car knows how to remote start, your car is able to open the garage, you're able to use Apple CarPlay, heated seats, and all of these other features, but then they lock all that hardware off behind a paywall in order to get more profit out of you. The fact that this is legal is just absolutely beyond me. But we have to vote with our dollar, as we have to do with everything in life. The only way these companies will get the message is if they see their profits dropping. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below a dog emoji so I know you watched the whole thing. And if you don't want to wait for my next upload, you can go ahead and check out this video right here on the screen. But thank you guys again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.